I've taken the short clip of after the mini class and after the actual process of Inside Out, just to skip you all ahead to where everyone shares their insights and what happened for them in the process. And here it is.
Since I woke up this morning, I've had a really bad stomach ache. And it's shifted to the point where I had to physically sit down and almost catch my breath today. Tomorrow is the day I put my resignation in for the job that I am going to give up. That was the big decision that I was struggling with, and I had a strong clarity that that was the right thing to do. And I wrote my resignation letter out, still thinking that it was the right thing to do. And then coming up to this session, I've had a really a lot of tightness around my chest. And when we were going into the meditative, I can't say the word, meditative space, I got this image of, I was sat in a dark room and I was looking through bars of a jail. I could see myself outside, but I was sat inside. So it was almost like I was seeing myself there, but I was there. I got to the point where I was really frustrated because I wanted to be where I was on the other side. So when you asked us to invite spirit or guide or whatever image we conjured up from like last session, again, this image came in, and I can't really see the face, but it was like I could sense they were smiling at me. They just looked over to the corner, and where there was darkness and where a big iron like jail cell like door was, all I had to do was walk around. There was nothing there. All I had to do, it was there, but all I had to do was walk around it, and they were almost like they were going like that, but they were smiling and they were going like that. And I looked over and I could see, and when I got to the other side, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, that was there all the time. And I couldn't see it. And then I met myself on the other side, and I embraced myself, and it was like, now I can make the decision. But yeah, that was really, really powerful. That was like that bit where I thought I was trapped. I thought I was, in that jail cell. And then all of a sudden I thought, oh, okay, no, I could. It felt so amazing. It was like, that's been there all the time. All I had to do was look over there, and then I was out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was brilliant. That was really good, because I've been having panic attacks. When I feel fear, it's head to toe. It's like it like paralyzes me, and I can still feel that there, but it's almost like I can now control that. Where before it was controlling me.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. I remember once I was with a group similar in a work, and I felt, I don't know, I just didn't feel welcome there or whatever it was. And I went into the feeling. The image I got was myself in a river. And I was like, oh my God. And it's like pouring me up. And then I heard a voice and it said, stand up.
Like the most obvious thing to do.
Stand up, because it was only 2 feet deep. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stand up for yourself. Jeez.
That's exactly the feeling you get. It's like so obvious, but you don't see it. Yeah, that was so cool.
Thank you, Louise. Angela, are you trying to?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so interesting. I kind of had a similar thing like Louise in a way. When I first started to go into it, I was noticing a lot of, like, I felt like I was chained up. Like I felt like I was literally like almost like a straitjacket, but it was chains. It was literal chains, and dark, and like a dark room. And then when you said to start to go into become the image, so then I sort of became the lock, right? The lock and the chains. And when I became the lock and the chains, it was as if this key showed up, and it was like, no, you just have to have the key, right? That's what opens it, right? And so it was like somehow I was outside of it, and I was able to open the lock and set myself free. And so it was just that feeling of freedom and feeling of like I was dancing, and I was feeling so light and so playful. And then all of a sudden I noticed when you're saying about a person from the, or I think you said like a, like a bringing someone in or calling someone in, but who came in was my cousin. And this is someone who passed away like 33 years ago. He was, only 19, and we were close. And it was so lovely to see him. He was like smiling and radiant and happy. And I was holding my heart, and then it occurred to me, years ago, I had a medium's, he had come in through a medium one time, and she had mentioned that rose quartz can often connect you. And I didn't even realize, but I'm wearing rose quartz. So it was just one of those moments. It was like, oh, okay. So it was just this nice feeling of being reunited and a feeling of connection. It just felt so good. Yeah, it just felt so nice to see him again. Yeah, and he was just smiling, and I was just reminded of memories of being kids. And I feel, again, a lot more talkative. I was feeling very quiet, and now I feel like
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. Oh my gosh. Louise, I forgot to check in with you as well. How's your stomach ache?
The pain has gone, but there's still like a heaviness there, but there's no pain there now.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay. Lee or Naomi?
Unmute. Here we go. So I set the intention today to say hi to my mom, and I kind of felt like I went in circles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening to what the other experiences are with huge eyes and wonder and hope that I can come to that kind of a place. Before you said to become the image, I tried to become my eye, and I couldn't, like, nothing really changed. I did see my eye, and I did see lots of colors, and very much the same, but all very transient. Maybe I don't know how to ask to become the eye. I don't know.
Well, one key word in your language was that I tried to become the I.
Well, that's because it didn't happen.
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing. We can't force anything. And that's like the trickiest thing in the world, right? You go to the gym, they tell you to work hard, do more. And that's how you get stuff done, right? And with this, it's completely the opposite. And if there's an attachment too, right? You invite your mom, but if she doesn't come, then there's no thing. And so, but if we want it so bad and we're trying to force it and fix it and try, it just never happens. And it can be really frustrating. But as you follow the energy trail, whatever that is, and for you right now, there's this I that comes and goes, and then you just breathe with it. It keeps moving.
Yeah.
And the thing with Inside Out is that there's rules, but they're not predictable. Your logical mind could never guess you're in a jail cell and all of a sudden there's a way around that you can get out the other way. Your logical mind could never say, hey, look at all these chains, and all of a sudden there's a key that's there. You can't even attempt to do that. You could never even necessarily know or ask for your cousin to appear, but it does. And so it's a really tricky thing to let go of the expectation and the control.
Right. And then I did something kind of funny. When you said to do something outrageous,
Yeah.
I decided I'd step on the eye.
Yeah.
And maybe I was trying too hard to squish it. I don't know.
Well,
Anyway.
what happened to it?
Nothing. It was pulsating there. And I thought about squashing it with my shoe, and
What did you notice, Lee?
Nothing really changed. I was still seeing the eye and then the bright colors, and like, I guess it's ever present is what I would
Couldn't
know.
squash it. You couldn't kill it.
I couldn't squash it with my foot.
No.
No. Maybe I'm looking for too much. Maybe I'm looking for the garden or the hand or the, maybe. And mine is.
Your eye. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems odd to me. And to explore this eye, I mean, I've had this eye for 3 or 4 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when the
No
eye,
wonder I wanted to squish it.
is it so annoying?
Yeah.
To which part of you is it annoying, Lee?
My logical part, of course, because
Yeah.
I want to know what the hell it's trying to tell me.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, I just told you.
What? But I can't squish it?
Okay, so you cannot squish it.
Huh?
You cannot fucking get rid of it.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's profoundly.
Oh, is that profound?
Yes, it's
Oh,
profound. It's profound.
okay.
What happens when you immerse yourself in that eye and you notice that it has no rules and it comes in and out, and when you're trying it disappears, but when you open up and it stays and it pulsates and it has no rules, how do you feel? How did you feel today?
Well, I felt a bit frustrated because I felt like I'm going in this circle.
Okay, yeah. That's the circle. But I mean today, earlier. We had a session earlier.
Oh, yeah.
You were relaxed. That's one of the things you always say when the eye appears. I'm feeling deep, profound relaxation.
Yes.
And there was this pulsating, radiating energy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's telling me I need to relax more.
It's telling you that you have a very profound inner guidance mechanism when you allow it to come forward. But your left brain, your logical, rule-bound part of yourself is still very strong. And it wants to step on it and kill it. And obliterate it because it's so frustrating.
And define it.
And define it and know what it is and figure it out and dissect it and put it into logical rules. But it won't go. And you can step on it and you can stomp on it and it'll just be there and it'll be like, I'm still pulsing. Here I am.
Huh.
But it's annoying to you. You can't define it.
And I can't figure out what it's trying to tell me. But I guess it's trying to tell me that I need to spend more time on the other side of my head.
Let's, if you had a little pet or something else and you tried to squish it, or a bug, what does it tell you?
Well, I guess it's ever present, and it's what's unconditional. I mean, I'm going to step on it and it's still there. And I guess it's always going to be there for me.
That's powerful.
Right. Okay.
How did you do tonight, Naomi?
I did get a little stuck a couple of times and had to keep coming back to what I had seen. And it's because I so deeply want to understand more about it. So I was at Rundle Park this afternoon and there were these 2 birch trees and they just grabbed me, like they grabbed my attention so strongly. As soon as you said set your intention for tonight, the birch trees were right there. So I remember the first birch tree. So I just let it sit there and I saw the main one, the one I looked at the most, had split into 2. I've been exploring. I'm doing professional training with Summer, and as part of that, I have to explore myself and do writing, where I research and also integrate things that I've come to know through this work. And I've really been exploring some of the biggest crisis moments of my life and how I had a very religious kind of past. And now I've moved into a more spirituality, I would say, that's more open. And so I've been wondering just the whys behind all of this. Why that path? What does it all mean? How does it come together? And I was asking for guidance about this. So the tree had split, and then the knowledge came that the tree had to decide which way to go. And it couldn't decide, so it took both ways. And then those both ways gave it a broader perspective because it got to try this way and then it got to try that way. And then it could soak in all the resources, all the sunshine and the air, so much more than if it had just stayed one trunk and gone straight up. And then Summer, you said something about the vast universal field of knowledge, inner wisdom. And when you said that, I noticed that because the tree had forked branches, I could lay in the branches and it was holding me. And I could feel the one trunk underneath going right down to the earth and just holding me perfectly. And then I noticed the two branches connecting made an arch or a bridge. And that brought me back to a session I had with Summer 2 years ago where we were exploring some of this religious trauma or whatever you want to call it that I had. And I had been shown that my childhood upbringing in religion was like an incomplete arch. It only went about 2/3 of the way around. I know. Can you believe it, Summer? So I'm just sitting with this because I'm like, my mind is being blown. I don't know. And then I became the tree and instantly I was in tree pose. In yoga, have you seen it? It's where you're like this, like your arms are like branches. And then the energy would flow down one arm and up the other and back, and I felt it like a pendulum swinging from one to the other, and then I could feel that energy going down through my body, swinging back and forth, and it was like, this is what it is. It's like from religion to spirituality, from logic to emotion and back, and as you just go with that, it all integrates into one ball of energy. And then my hands became more like dancers' hands. Like I can't do the poses, but you know, those really beautiful poses they do with their fingers. And then there was that ball of energy. Yes. So beautiful in between them. And then I could see all the trees had become like forearms. These were their trunks, like forearms reaching up out of the earth, and the fingers were branches. And it was all the different perspectives, all creating these balls of energy in between them. And that's where it ended. And one of the things I really pulled out of it was that religion taught me an intimacy with Source and the universe. But spirituality taught me the openness to everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Interesting, because when I talked about that source thing, I was like, okay, this is coming to mind to say. And when I said it, I was already crying. I was just like, wow, I'm feeling this intense energy. And I was just breathing it in and just feeling so grateful that you're all here. So even though I'm facilitating, I get these, I don't know. Waves of insight, and just feeling like the force of the universe is just like that, just holding us all. And I just get this waves of like confirmation of that divine universal wisdom that unlocks us all from rigid thoughts and sets us free. So I can't say how grateful I am every single time I hear someone's story and the thoughts and that, like, every single time I'm just like, wow, you can never think it. You can't think it. It's just like, holy shit, like, look at that transform like that. Anything can do that. Even this whole COVID situation, as nuts as it may be on multiple levels, it can do that. It can just shift all of a sudden. And it's so funny, we don't have to do anything really, except be open. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say some of that. I did text you, and I've just read your book.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I only received it last weekend, but I have not been able to put it down. And I've highlighted quite a few things in there that's really prevalent to me with what I'm going through at the moment. So I've got to say I'm very grateful for that book, because I'm starting to open up more and more. My body I just can't get enough of dipping into the spiritual realms, the spiritual wisdom. I'm like it's like I'm like a sponge at the moment. So your book, it's very, very good, and anybody who hasn't read it, please do, because it's so insightful and it's very relevant. But until people start to become aware of these insights and this wisdom, it's all, you know, I don't want to make judgments or anything, but I almost feel sorry for people who are not doing this because it's like from day to night. I think you have to get to the point to almost be brave. You have to be brave to trust. And, you know, my trust has been very much damaged. I realized now it was my ego that was stopping me exploring all the things that I'm exploring now. And I'm becoming to recognize the parts of me that I had no idea was there. It's so amazing. It's just so enlightening and so cool. So very grateful for what you're doing and the book that you've put out there, and the way you've worded it. The way it's not complicated, it's easy to take in. And I just think it's so relevant now when everybody is so afraid and so insecure and so wondering what's going to happen next. I just want as many people to know that you're not alone. You don't have to be afraid. You can tap into yourself anytime you want, and you will gain such insight.
Wonderful.
So I too have read Summer's book, and it's one of very few books that I've read twice.
Does anyone else have any other concluding thoughts this evening? Thank you so much for being here. I do love you all very much.
I was just going to add about the book. Like, the book is amazing. I mean, I have read it, at least twice and referenced it so many times. So yeah, that book it's so cool. Like, honestly, because again, I practice meditation, you know, kind of what you said, some of your friends said. I've done a lot of that. And again, it's great. I'm grateful. It helped me, but nothing has helped me like this has helped me. And that's the truth. So again, I'm hoping that becomes more out there, that people have it. I'm hoping people know about it more. And I agree. That's why we have our agreement. I have 6 books coming that eventually as gifts. I think it's a beautiful gift for somebody. And hopefully it goes out more and more. I mean, how's the book doing?
I've had to get over my fear of being visible and having people call me woo-woo and whatever. And now I'm like, I don't care.
You're owning it.
I'm owning it. God, the universe, whatever said, I'm sorry, this is your job. And you're going to get sick if you don't do what you're supposed to be doing and contribute to the universe in which the way that you've been shown.
Exactly.
Okay. Are you sure? Do I have to do it this way? And, you know, we're all struggling with visibility and following that path. And there's so many layers to it. So
learning to have courage and walk your own path.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's big. That's big.
It is big. And so thank you to all of you. You know, you're part of whatever's unfolding in the universe, and it is big. I mean, I call it the apocalypse and the quickening. I truly feel that. It's universal, worldwide, earthly, and also within each and every one of us, whatever our path is.
Yeah. And it'd be so wonderful if everybody could feel this and just tap into it. It'd be it would be a better place.
Mwah.
Everybody had a good evening, and thank you.
Have
Grateful.
a good evening. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Summer.
Bye.
Bye-bye.